Hello, everybody. It's time for Live with Gotham Quilts. It is Tuesday night at 6:30, so your regular time, your regular place. I'm Yvette, and here's Andrea.
Hello.
Hi, Andrea. And we have some people checking in. I asked in the chat to check in where you're coming from. We have
Ooh,
somebody
Hawaii.
from Hawaii, somebody in Michigan. So, hello, everybody out there in the interwebs. We're back. And this week we have a new pattern to tell you about. If you're on our email list, which I assume most people who are watching probably are on our email list, but we just launched a new pattern yesterday. Well, I'll just show it to you instead of explaining it. Okay, ta-da! Pillow. And I would like the world to know that I made the sample, and
You
I
did?
finished the sample, which I am known for not finishing things.
We won't tell people when we started this
Oh
project.
yeah, I started this like 3 months ago. Or was it more than 3 months, do you
It
think?
might have been more, but that's fine. We don't need to worry about
Well,
that.
it's done though.
There you
All
go.
the way done. Oh wait, I forgot I changed my camera. The original idea with this design was to come up with a simple project that would be a way to use mini charm packs. So what Andrea's holding up, I have enough extra one here in my hands. For those of you who are not familiar with the term charm, it's essentially a pre-cut that is a square. So if you just hear charm pack, it's usually a 5-inch square. But if you hear mini charm pack, it's usually a 2.5-inch square, which is what these little mini guys are. And they're really adorable. And they're kind of cheap. They're like $5. So it's really easy to just buy a bunch of these.
Yeah, they're hard not to buy.
But then you're kind of like, what do I do with these?
Exactly.
So that was
Which is why I have so many left over from.
So I asked Andrea to go around and grab the ones that she has. We have different like sewing defaults.
Oh, very much.
Not to sew with things like this. So most of the
collecting them though.
Yes, so she collects them, but she doesn't necessarily use them. I tend to use them more than she does. Until now, my favorite thing to make with these is 9 patch blocks. You just sew them together. You got a block, you make a bunch of different things. But we wanted to come up with a design that would feature a decent amount of the squares that are in a pack. And actually, since we're talking about the squares that are in a pack, let's have a quick side conversation.
Yeah, right before we started, we went live, I guess. We were just talking about why are there 42 squares in a charm pack?
It's like the standard for a 5-inch one or a 42-inch one.
Or a 5-inch, 2.5, or 10-inch usually are also 42.
Oh, layer cakes. Yeah. So if it's 10-inch charm pack, is usually called a layer cake.
If you buy it from Moda. Moda started this.
The concept of pre-cuts. Yeah, exactly.
Trademarked layer cake, jelly roll, all of those pastry names, they've trademarked. So they're the only ones that can use those names. But mini charm and charm, they can't trademark. But they all have 42. And we don't know why.
Which seems like a particularly strange number. Like,
yeah, you'd think 36 or
like an even,
40.
like a rounded off number.
Right.
Oh, Jen is saying jelly rolls too. Jelly rolls usually have 42.
All the pre-cuts. Yep.
So then we started in a whole conversation about like, okay, so it's a 2.5-inch square, so you can cut 16 of them from a strip cut from width of fabric, but 16 doesn't multiply into 42 either, so that doesn't seem like it has any relevance.
Well, these came second. The 5-inch charms were first.
Right.
So that was
get like.
I still don't understand, but the most logical thing we came up with eventually was that collections probably used to have 21 fabrics.
Oh, and then you could get 2 of each.
Right. So put 2 of each in the charm pack, that your number ends up being 42. But that's just a guess. We have no idea.
Yeah. And so, we've been doing this for about 10 years. And I don't remember how many, because we used to order full collections way more when we first launched. And it was like pretty common for collections to have 3 colorways. But I don't remember that they were 21 piece collections generally.
I mean, I'm the one that looks at all the collections, and they are not normally 21
Yeah.
pieces.
There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to how many pieces are in a collection. We were just talking about the Lori Holt one that has 50 pieces in it.
52, yeah. And it depends on the
Wait, 52?
manufacturer. Some manufacturers do like to keep their collections tighter, maybe
Right.
12, or even smaller every once in a while. But Moda is one that generally has really big collections. Um, Lori Holt
Ruby
is
Star
one from Riley
specifically,
Blake.
very big.
It's really all of the Moda designers. It
Oh,
isn't
really?
just Ruby Star. Um, but yeah, I'm looking at this Betty's Luncheonette from 7 or 8 years ago.
Oh, yeah, that's old.
I mean, this was a big one. I didn't count how many are in here, but it's going to be more than 21, I'm pretty sure, because not all of these are doubles.
Did that collection have 3 colorways also? I
I don't know.
remember a pink one and a green one.
I see pink, orange, green,
Oh, and
blue, and
orange. Yep.
gray.
Yep.
So I don't know. I don't remember specifically.
Anyway, we got on. This is the kind of conversation
A little tangent there.
that if anyone who's watching knows the answer, sometimes people log in and we find out somebody who's watching who's like a fabric rep or whatever.
Yeah, that's happened before. So
If
yeah, if
you
you
know
know,
the
put it in the
answer,
comments.
put it in the comments because. And then I started thinking like, okay, what does 42 divide into? So like the closest you could get to even would be like a 6x7 grid. But that's still a weird multiple.
Yeah, because it's not quite, well, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about the pillow.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, this pillow design uses only 16 of these charms. And there was kind of a method to my madness when I picked 16, because most of the time when you get this pack that has, as we've said, 42 in it, it's usually not 42 unique prints. It's usually 2 of each print, or maybe like 4 of one and then 2 of everything else. Although every once in a while, like the one I'm holding here, this is for a tulip pink blender from Free Spirit, and it doesn't come in that many colors. So on this one, you can see there are a lot more than 2 of each color, right? So on this one, it would be a little bit different. But in general, most of them come with 2 copies of each print. So if you have half of 42, that's 20 different ones. You might not like all of them. So you only need 16 for this pillow. The other thing is like the contrast between the charms and the background. You do kind of want that, because you get very muddy if you had them not be very contrasting. So like I use the mini speckles for this sample, which Andrea has in her hand. If the very light colors wouldn't have looked so good, you want them to stick out. So if you were using a dark background, then you wouldn't want to use only the dark charm packs. You'd want to use the lighter charm packs, right?
I mean, unless you're going for like a really subtle look, but
that's true.
I mean, that's a design choice.
Yeah, definitely. And then if you end up with one like this, where you have, I don't know, 5 of each one, you could do like a stripe of all blue and a stripe of all orange, and that would still be a pretty cool pillow. That would be your own twist on the design.
Now I'm seeing it in like plaids, where you have like clusters of 4, and then you do your quilt stitching on top to make it look like a, you know, like a plaid sock or something.
You could even do that by like, not all of these would be white. You could do like, yeah.
Oh
so,
man.
Yeah, the beauty
so many possibilities.
Simple checkerboard like this, because this is what it is, right? If you've never done anything on point, watch. There's no mystery to this. This is just piecing rows and then I can't talk. You
columns, rows and columns,
and then you sew the strips together, and then you rotate it 45 degrees and you trim. That's all that on point is. It looks fancy, but it's not at all harder than the normal layout.
You don't have to deal with triangles. They're all squares, and then you just trim the sides off of some of the squares.
So like you end up with a square here, but you don't actually cut a square. You cut a square.
Right.
Yep. I'm sorry. You don't cut
it. You don't cut a triangle. Yeah. So no bias edges. No worrying about that stuff.
And if you're wondering how the back works, this is an envelope back, which is our favorite simple thing to do. It's just 2 pieces.
Easy peasy.
What?
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. Yes. So you don't need a button. You don't need a zipper. You don't no stress. This is a great project to give as a gift because it comes together really quickly. It's just machine piecing, nothing fancy. You could fancy it up if you wanted to. I would focus on the quilting if you want to make like a statement. I just did regular straight line machine quilting, and honestly, I was kind of like making it up as I went along. So if you look really closely, it's not symmetrical. It's good enough for a pillow, but you could do, depending on what you're into, you could do big stitch hand quilting. You could do some free motion. You could do tying,
embroidery. Yeah, you could do all
embroidery.
kinds of stuff.
It would be so cute if you like embroidered maybe into the negative space, something that the recipient would like to receive in there.
And I think having contrasting thread colors in your quilt stitching, I think that could look really cool.
Yeah.
So there's really a lot of possibilities here to customize this and make this your own.
Yeah, you can think of it as a jumping off point for whatever idea you can come up with. And maybe you can be inspired by your charm pack.
Yeah.
So like Andrea has one that's like a Christmas one, right?
I do.
So maybe if you were using the Christmas one, maybe you would do holly. Wait, is it called holly?
Yes. Yeah, holly.
Like holly leaves as the embroidery or the quilting or
little Christmas tree shapes or little, or like the ornament shape.
Oh, right. That would be nice quilting to do that sort of.
Oh, a little snowman. That would be cute. Yeah, there's so many possibilities. And then if you have a ton of charm packs sitting around, like I do,
yeah, you found a lot of them.
Do something with them.
Yeah, so that brings up one thing I wanted to mention. We did a white background on this because it just honestly looked the best with these fabrics. We wanted to use the speckled charm pack. This has all the new colors of speckled that just came out in,
which are some really cool colors. Just holding that'll give you an idea.
There's
some nice colors in there.
And we tried it with a couple of different colors, and it just really looked the best in white. But realistically, neither of us would have put a white pillow on our couches because we both have pets, and Andrea also has a child. So you can think about what background works better for your pillow. Whatever our sample, and I think it does photograph really well on the white.
Yeah.
But it might not be the most practical option.
It pops really nice. Yes. But yeah, if you don't have kids or black long hair cats in your house, or dogs or whatever, a white pillowcase is probably, or pillow sham is probably fine. Yeah. But yeah, for those of us that are messier or have, the pets, we have another version as well, right?
Oh yeah. So we're going out of order now. But
oh, I'm sorry.
Real quick, I will show, I had this idea that I wanted to show it again, show the same pillow, but in a different fabric mock-up. So I'll just share the screen real quick. Where's the tab I want to share? Here. So we have this other mini charm pack in stock right now, which is the Magic Dot mini charm pack from Ruby Star, which is a bunch of polka dots, which you cannot go wrong with a polka dot. But we put this one, we have a kit for this, and we have a kit for this one too. And we put this one on a charcoal background. You could have put these colors on a light color background, but I purposely wanted to make another mock-up of the same pillow with a completely different look. And like this one is the light one, that's the dark one, so you can see the possibilities. The best tip I have for you, the way Andrea and I usually pick background colors, is we take the fabrics that we're using. So like open your charm pack and lay it out on your potential background color. So take a piece of the fabric and just put a bunch of them on top, and then maybe try a different one and put a bunch of them on top, so that you can get an idea of how it's going to look when it's pieced together and whether you like that background or not.
Yeah, this particular project is really easy because these are already cut to size, so you really just have to stretch out your base fabric and then lay them on top, and you'll get a really good idea of what it'll actually look like.
Yep.
We call that auditioning.
Yeah,
and you can even take them to the store, take your little charm pack and on their table, lay it out and lay them out and see what color you like the best.
Yeah. We once did a live, this is years ago, where we were picking the sashing in that case. In our live, we literally had pulled out bolts and we were spreading the bolts out and putting the blocks on the bolts, on the fabric, to try to pick what the sashing fabric was going to be, because that's really what the process is that we use when we're picking things out, that to see if it goes.
That's the best way to do it, because you don't know until you try.
And sometimes you're so surprised, right? Like
we were during that one.
Yeah, we ended up with such a weird color for that project. Like no one
not expecting.
Like I don't even know what you would call that color. It was like kind of gold, kind of orange.
Gold, copper, something like that. I don't know.
So it was one of those weird colors that in general, no one would ever be like, oh, I definitely think that color would work.
Right.
But
you wouldn't look at it and be like, that's the one.
Yeah. So since this is a pretty simple pattern, we are offering it as a free PDF download. And if you scan this QR code, or you can click the link that's in the video description, that's the link to the sign up form. This is a free download if you sign up for our email list. If you're already on our email list, we've already sent you the link, so you could just click the link that's in your email inbox. But if you haven't yet signed up for our email list, you can scan this QR code or click the link at the bottom, and then you enter your email address to sign up for our email list, and immediately you'll be sent to the PDF, and then you could just download the PDF and either print it out, use it. I've heard, I don't know if this is really true, I've heard that people are now more likely to use their iPads when they're working on a PDF pattern, like more likely than printing, because so many people don't even have printers at home now.
That's true, right? Yeah.
So that's neither here nor there, but it's on my mind. So yeah, that's the QR code for the pattern itself. And how, as we mentioned, we do have the actual, a kit to make it. If you really fell in love with this one and you're not worried about the white background problem that we just talked about, you can make this exact pillow with one of our kits. We only can make about 12 more, I think it was last time I checked, because Moda's already sold out of this charm pack that we use, this speckled charm pack. So when they're gone, they're gone. We can't make any more. So this is the kit for the original version. And then these links are also in the descriptions, by the way. And then there's a brand new kit that I just added is for the second version, which is using the magic dot bundle is what that one's called.
That one's funny because you can barely see it on the black background.
Right. You're right. Let's see if I can make it more visible. What if I go like
little charms floating? That works.
There you go. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this pillow. I think I might make one or two as Christmas gifts because they are pretty quick.
Yeah.
If you don't let yourself go crazy with the quilting, it is very quick. If it's like quilting could be a 15-minute project, could be a 300-hour project if you lose your mind, right? So, Dana's saying she likes the way the project look, and she has a lot of minis too. Yeah, we're finding that this is a pretty common.
It is a common issue, yes. Yeah. Problem.
Yeah. Jen said that she started getting two, one to put on her shelf and one to use.
Good idea.
Yeah, that's when you're really committing to your collection,
I mean, a lot of the ones I have, I got for free at market, so I couldn't necessarily get more than one, but a lot of these didn't ever come as charm packs, so they're like limited edition.
I don't know that they do it as much anymore, but it used to be a marketing thing that the manufacturers would do. If we went to, sometimes we would get them from our sales reps, they would bring them with them, but it's a way to get to see the actual fabric and how they look together.
Exactly. And the colors and
place an order if they show it to us.
It's really handy for that, to be honest.
Yeah. The Carolyn Friedlander ones were some of my favorites.
I still have almost all of those.
Do you? I've used most of mine.
Yeah, I have not used mine. I've used like one.
And I just saw that Jen said, I love that cat shirt. I got to show you my shirt real quick. Did you see my new shirt?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Do you like it?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Yeah. So that's what Jen said in the comments, but I hadn't seen it. She said it a while ago, but I only just saw it. Yeah. I had to get another shirt to meet the shipping minimum. And I was like, this is the shirt. It's funny because you can mostly, that's basically all you can see when I'm on video is the.
But you know what it is.
Oh, yeah. A cat saying no.
Yeah. Which is seemingly what they do all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Well, that was really the goal of today's video was to tell you all about the Hazel Pillow. Oh, we didn't mention why we called it the Hazel Pillow. Originally, it was called the Mini Charm Pillow.
Which you can guess why we wanted to change the name.
And I originally really wanted to name it the Mini Charm Pillow because the whole point was that you use mini charms to make this and like for Googleability and everything. But it turns out when I Googled it, there's like 80 patterns already that are called Mini Charm Pillow. And I was like, okay, well, that's not going to work. And then we kept not coming up with an idea of what to name it. And then all of a sudden I was like, you know what? We haven't named anything Hazel. Hazel is Andrea's daughter's name. So it became the Hazel Pillow. That is very not a good story reason it is called the Hazel Pillow.
Yeah, of all the things we've done, this wouldn't be her favorite, I don't think.
Right, because it had no unicorns or
exactly,
glitter.
Because there's no unicorns or rainbows.
Or frozen.
Dragons. Yeah.
Or devil cats.
Yeah, or animals of any kind, basically.
You're right, there's no animals at all.
Yeah, if it had an animal, that she'd be much more likely to be interested.
Maybe we can find a mini charm that has animals and make her one.
Maybe.
I'm sure she has plenty of Christmas presents coming her way already.
Oh, she does. And she's got plenty of pillows and quilts and stuff too, so.
Yeah. All right, so that's basically the point of today's video, is to talk about this new pattern. You can download it. I hope you get lots of use out of it. And if you do make it, please tag us on social media when you post your finished pillow, because we want to see what you came up with.
We love to see what you guys make.
People come up with such interesting color combinations that, whether it goes with your decor or it's, you were just
your style,
having some ideas, or maybe you got some new fabric and you're like, let's see how this would work. And then we get tagged in them and we're like, we never would have thought of that. That looks really good. And those, that's one of the joys of designing things, is seeing what people
really is.
The ideas that we have.
But I just had the thought, 2.5 inches is a decent like fussy cutting size. And even if you don't have a mini charm, you could cut 16 2.5-inch squares, fussy cut whatever you like. So if it's animals or, I don't know, birds or flowers, like you could probably find that. And most of us have little scraps of all kinds of stuff laying around.
Remember that
tool would be even more versatile than we thought.
It's true, except more work if you do it that way. But
that's true. It is more work that way.
There used to be, a couple of years ago, Tula did a group that was called Tiny Beasts, and all of the animals were pretty small. That would be perfect, I think, to fussy cut.
Yes, it would.
2.5-inch square. Yeah.
So if any of you guys have that at home.
Yeah, I'm sure it's up there somewhere in my Tula stash.
Yeah, the raccoons would be really cute.
Yeah. And then there was those the little cats that were on the besties group that were climbing.
Yes, on the like MCF thing.
Yeah.
That I do have some of.
Did we need to update anyone on shipping timelines, or?
We're still waiting for the Frank Lloyd Wright collection.
Yes.
That one, I don't know why it hasn't arrived yet.
I will be calling. And it didn't. So hopefully.
What?
Wasn't it supposed to ship to us last week?
Just December. He said early December. Okay. I will be calling tomorrow to find out when we can expect that. So I apologize for all the waiting. You guys have been waiting quite a while for this one. And as soon as it gets here, we'll start shipping those out. But unfortunately, it is not yet here. That's the big one we've been waiting for.
Oh, Jen just mentioned social sewing. I knew I was missing something. All right, hold on. You talk about something else, and I'm going to
Okay, so String Fling will be going out towards the end of the month. Zoo Family will be going out probably by the end of the week. So those are the 2 block of the months. Stash, I'm still waiting for some fabric to come. Everything's a waiting game. So Stash,
everything had caught up, and then all of a sudden it's all screwed up again.
Yeah, exactly. So Stash Society, those I can't send those out. I'm still waiting for a couple of fabrics, but as soon as those arrive, Stash Society will be going out. I think that's it for things people are waiting for.
Okay. In 1 second, I will put a QR code up for this weekend. Friday night is the first Friday of the month, which means that, is it the first Friday or the second Friday? Second Friday. That means it is virtual social sewing night. So hosted by Jen. You can scan this QR code, and we meet for 2 hours from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. If you're a member of Stash Society, one of the Block of the Months,
Journey.
yeah, like a bunch of stuff. If you're already subscribed to a bunch of other stuff, when you put this in your cart, it'll be free. But if you're not yet subscribed to any of those things, then it's $25, and you get to hang out with people who want to sew, and maybe have a glass of wine and work on whatever. Jen will be there if you have questions or you need help.
You get
And
to
also
show off
the
your
other
stuff.
people in the who will come can also be helpful.
Yes. Yeah. And just getting to show what you're working on, getting to see what other people are working on is always really inspirational.
Yeah.
And interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm going to try to log in. Don't hold me to that, but I'm going to try to log in.
I will also try.
So thanks, Jen, for reminding me, because before we started, I actually went and looked. I was like, what is it that I need to remind people of? And I somehow missed it anyway. So it's this Friday, the 13th. Oh, it's Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
Maybe someone will be sewing Halloween stuff for next year.
Possible.
All right. Well, that's about it for us. If you need anything from us, if you we're waiting for us to update you on something and we didn't mention it, you can always send us an email. We're info@gothamquilts.com, and we'll get right back to you. And otherwise, we will see you next week at the same time, same place, Tuesday at 6:30 for Live with Gotham Quilts again. Thanks for coming, and have a good night.
Have a good night.
Bye.